Just when you thought it was over, we started it over. Just a different chapter, but still part of the story. Spirit of a patriot, but the heart of a soldier. If you wasn't part of the grind, you can't be part of the glory. We right here, we ain't going nowhere. It's your worst nightmare. We back and they all scared. Every year is our year. The defense is top tier. Whenever you see that red and blue, it's a new era. They too scared of us. I don't know who said it was over, but they lied. The truth never miss, kicking down the door like who let him in. We been grinding and we ain't worried about the small talk. We big timers.
Yeah, can't believe it, we ain't leaving. Yeah, we achieving, can't be beaten. Say it loud, say it proud from the top of my lungs. Hometown, second crown, you ain't trying with us. Around this time, you really can't deny. You can't run, you can't hide when the Patriot comes.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Patriots Friday Night Lights podcast, brought to you by the Boston Sports Entertainment Network. I'm Brendan. I have to start off. I got the shirt. All things seem possible in May. You can get it off their website, bsen617.square.site. It's on Twitter. You guys can find it. I love this shirt. It's awesome. Go Drake May. We had to go Drake May. Hopefully he plays this weekend. We'll see. He's still questionable. He still has one more day left of his concussion protocol, which I'm sure he'll pass. I don't know if they'll actually play him, but he's listed questionable. So they haven't ruled him out. So let's get into last week. Great win against the Jets. A lot of fun. I love beating the Jets. I fucking hate the Jets, and I hate Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is the fucking worst. So that was awesome. Christian Gonzalez, still the best corner in the league, in my opinion. It's so hard to think there's someone better than him, right? There's Pat Surtain, but I mean, come on. Like, Christian Gonzalez has faced AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson. I mean, he's facing all these top tier guys, and he's just fucking smoking them. I mean, this last game, Devontae Adams in coverage with him, 0 catches, 0 yards. I mean, absolute perfection. He was great. Speaking of Drake May, that first two drives he was in, he looked so good. I mean, completed pretty much every single pass. All the runs he was doing were just fantastic. The rushing touchdown was awesome. That was so good. Just ran straight to the corner, both hands on the ball. That's something that I've really noticed with him is he's very good with ball control. He knows kind of where the defenders come in. He's able to kind of keep it in two hands, tuck it if he needs to. That's kind of something that I always got nervous with Mac is whenever he had the ball and there was a defender behind him, it was almost guaranteed a sack or a fumble, and it was just a total nightmare. But with Drake, I've noticed that he's very good with knowing where the ball is, where the defender is, and where he needs to move it. So, super smart by Drake. I think it's awesome. And then he went down with the concussion, which was a bullshit no call. Obviously, that happens every fucking game. It was a small hit. I mean, he did slide, and I still think it should have been at least some sort of targeting rule. I mean, it was straight to the head. But then Jacoby Brissett went in and he did exactly what we needed him to. He, didn't turn the ball over, made smart decisions, did the check down if he needed to, went to the tight end. That's always been his game. That's pretty much what our offense was the entire time he was in, and basically the whole time Mac was in. Is just, just dish it out, get it to your players, move on, don't make mistakes. Which tends to not work. I mean, it was basically the same game as when we faced the Bengals, right? The defense just holds their own, and then the offense just barely enough and doesn't lose the game, but doesn't necessarily goes out and wins the game for us. So it's not the most sustainable. It worked against the Jets because the Jets fucking suck, and they're always going to suck. So that was great. But I have to give him props. I mean, he went in there, took over that offense, right? Didn't bat an eye, didn't go in there. He looked slower. like processing wise, which was good. He usually, like the last time he was in there, I don't know if it was necessarily the yips, but he seemed like he was kind of rushing a bit. He seemed super calm in the pocket, made good decisions. He gave the ball to Hunter Henry a ton, which that's another person we really got to give their flowers. Is Hunter Henry? He has been Mr. Consistent, number one target. He has been so good. And the thing that I think is kind of underrated with him is that after the catch, I feel like he's able to kind of bring a few guys down. He's able to, like, he knows where to kind of run in the middle of the field if he needs to cut out. He seems to be really good with the balls in his hands, which is kind of crazy because he is kind of slow, kind of out there. But he's a good route runner. He's always open. He makes insane catches. Right, there was kind of the throw in the middle by Drake to him. He kind of made that catch on his own, and there wasn't really much given to him. Yeah, he's just been really, really consistent. Especially where Demario Douglas didn't really seem to be out there. Right, he had like an illness or something. I don't know, whatever. We won the game, so it's not the biggest deal. But having Demario out there, he tends to be Drake's number one. So, and another thing is, yeah, right. Jacoby never really used him anyways, so it didn't really matter this game. So as long as Hunter Henry and Mondre are in there when Jacoby's in there, right? That's kind of all that really matters. Speaking of Mondre, he had a good game. I mean, he averaged like 2.6 yards or something like that. So just reading that on by itself is like that's not good at all. But I mean, he had 2 touchdowns. He had the 2-point conversion. So when it mattered, he got it. Not a ton of negative yardage from him, which was nice. I mean, you can contribute that to the offensive line probably just because. I mean, every time he gets to the line of scrimmage, he gets hit. So it's tough to really determine if it's him versus if it's the offensive line, right? There's kind of a lot going on. I mean, the first game against the Bengals, he had 120 yards and 108 of it was after contact. I mean, like it's kind of tough to decide. I think Mondre, right? I mean, the touchdown or the 2-point, he was off to the side. He caught it kind of wide open. He's able to read defense as well. So I think it's more of an offensive line issue. But the offensive line passing wise or pass defense wise was really good. I mean, they stopped the rush really well. They didn't allow a lot of pressures. Our new center Brown, he's been lights out. I don't know how they picked up this guy randomly, but he has been phenomenal for us. Michael Wenu, he had a great game too. He didn't really allow any pressures. So I was pretty impressed with the offensive line. They gave Jacoby a lot of time, especially where Jacoby holds on to the damn fucking ball, right? We really needed an offensive line to help us out. And I think they did a really good job. I didn't really have too many critiques, right? We didn't have a lot of penalties, which always helps with the game. And then, right, no turnover. So that was really good. But I think what we really got to talk about is how bad the fucking Jets were. And this just gets my heart pounding because I fucking hate them and I love seeing them be ass. And they were so ass. 3 timeouts in the first quarter. I mean, that's one of the worst coachings I've ever seen, which is just so good to see because this was supposed to be the best season the Jets have ever had. And to see them be 2-6, which now they're 3-6 because fucking Texans. I mean, Jesus Christ, what are they doing? Aaron Rodgers has 36 fucking yards in the first half. Second half, he had 150, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, Jesus Christ, what a fucking complete just collapse by the Texans. So upsetting. I had Devontae Adams on my bench because I don't trust Aaron Rodgers, and he drops 22 fucking points. First time all season, I think he's crossed 20 points. So that was just fucking awesome. Jets still pissing me off even when we don't play them. But the Jets, I mean, they've been terrible. And I think it kind of puts us in a good position for this next week, right? They're 3-6. If we have a pretty good chance of winning, if we win, we're still above the Jets. And then we just need Miami to lose again, right? And that'll put them in an even worse spot. We can kind of secure that number 2 spot in the AFC East. I still don't really think we're gonna be doing much with the AFC East and trying to make playoffs. I don't really have a lot of hope, but I just love being above the Jets and the Miami Dolphins. It's right. We're all about moral wins this year, right? Nothing fucking matters except for Drake May and then just beating division rivals. I don't even consider the Bills because I know we're gonna get smoked. We've been getting smoked by them for forever. So it was just it's all about beating the Jets and being in Miami. So last week was just awesome. I was there. I was nervous the whole game. I mean, when the Jets came back in and they took the lead, I was like, "Great, the same old Patriots, right? We're doomed." And at that time, Drake got out, so I already called game, and I was thinking that we're gonna be 1-7, and it was just another fucking bullshit week by the Patriots. And then, lo and behold, Jacoby Brissett came in and balled out, and our offense did great, and then our defense is just was lights out against them. Aaron Rodgers couldn't do anything. I mean, like Devon Godshaw said in that post game, where he even admitted that Aaron Rodgers is not the same. He's super slow. That even he could catch up to him. Right? I mean, that was pretty awesome to hear. I can't lie. But right, that really helped us was that Aaron wasn't a super mobile quarterback. I think that's what kind of helped us with Joe Burrow. Right, he's still pretty mobile, but he's not like a Lamar Jackson or a Jalen Hurts or anything like that. So I think that's what kind of helped us both in these games is our defensive pass rush was able to kind of contain them and not let them make out of pocket plays. Right. I mean, Aaron Rodgers did that the first week or the first time that we faced him. He get out of the pocket and make these crazy throws, and he looked super mobile and everything. And this past week, we were able to really contain him, and I think that helped us a ton. Um, our whole defense was just they were really good. Safety group, I mean, we gotta give props to them, especially with Jabril and Duggar being out. I think those three rotational guys did a really good job. I mean, we didn't really let up any big plays. Uh, Everyone was tackling really solid. I think it was a good, next man up mentality, like Gerard said, kind of talking about Brissett, but I think it went really well with the safeties that we had, which is encouraging because I don't really think Jabril's coming back. It looks really fucking bad. I can't. I have to admit it. I don't know if Duggar's coming back. I'm assuming he is. I think it was just an ankle. Um, but I can also see us just kind of let him sit and just wait till after the Titans. Uh, but I mean, if anything, I mean the group looked good, so it's encouraging, right? If we don't get Jabril back, we'll have all those guys to kind of rotate, and we shouldn't have to worry too much. Marcus Jones, special teams, it was awesome, right? That huge return for it was like 50 something yards. I mean, that was really good for the offense. It really took the life out of the Jets, right? It was almost reminiscent of a couple of years ago in 2022 where Marcus Jones took it to the house for that game winner against the Jets. So that was pretty cool. But defensively, he kind of he had his hands full with Garrett Wilson, which I mean, it seems like everyone does. I mean, last night, I mean, Garrett Wilson had an insane catch, and then it was 9 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown. Which a touchdown, I seem like it seems like a touchdown is just different these days. I don't know what is, what isn't. Right? If that's a fucking touchdown, then why the hell is Jalen Polk's not? Right? Like, they say that like the shin was down or whatever, but it's fucking bullshit, right? I mean, George Pickens, he pretty much had the same exact catch, and they didn't call that a touchdown. Whatever. Fuck the refs. The refs are always against New England. I don't care if that's fucking biased opinion. They fucking suck. And every fucking time that Jalen Polk tries to get a touchdown, or that N'Keal Harry against the Chiefs. Now I'm going back a few fucking years, right? There's just whatever. It's neither here nor there. Yeah, Garrett Wilson's been cooking. He's been cooking. I think Marcus Jones did enough to contain him. Maybe it was enough for a win. I don't want to bash too much on Marcus because I think he had some good plays. He's a really good tackler. And then obviously special teams, he's always been a dog. I didn't really hear much from Jonathan Jones, which is usually a good thing, right? Corners, if they seem pretty silent, then that's a good thing. And then obviously Christian Gonzalez. He is my favorite player. He is so fucking good. Has to be first team All Pro. I can't say enough good things about Gonzo. He's phenomenal. Just year 2. When he's in that contract year, which thank God it's a few years from now, which puts us in a really good position, just getting our team back to being contending, is right. We have to pay him whatever he wants. We have to have him being a Patriot for life. He's just phenomenal. I will sell him whatever. I will sell the house. I'll take the skin off my back. We have to keep him. He's just so fucking good, especially with our freaking division. Right, Keon Coleman now looks like he's going to be a stud. You got Amari Cooper. I don't know how much longer Garrett Wilson will be in the league or be in the Jets, but for now, Garrett Wilson, right, Devontae Adams, which I don't think we'll talk about that later. But Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, like those guys are gonna be around for a while. This is a really, really fucking good time to have Christian Gonzalez, especially and Josh Allen, right? I mean, we're gonna be facing Josh Allen for another 7 years, 5 years, whatever it's gonna be. Right? He's not going anywhere. He's gonna be one of the best quarterbacks in the league for as long as he fucking plays. He is a monster. Having Christian Gonzalez be able to take away half a field playing against guys like that is so clutch. Especially when he's so young. We're trying to build this young team. I just think he's just so valuable, and whatever the hell he wants, we have to give it to him. But speaking of those receivers, right? The Jets, if they didn't win last night, I'd probably be a little bit more confident. But I still don't really believe in them. I think Rodgers, if the season keeps going the way it's going, he plays like the way he plays. I don't see him being in football anymore. I really don't. Right? He's never cared about winning. He's never cared about stuff like that. He's cared about looking good, making money, right? He's a selfish prick. We all know it. It's been terrible for him, and it's been terrible for Devontae Adams too, right? They're both old as shit. They're both, right? They're losing games. They both suck. I don't see either of them being around. And with them being gone, who the hell wants to be on the Jets? Right? Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, they should be looking for contracts now, right? You're telling me they want to stay with the Jets? No fucking chance. And I think that helps with the Patriots' future, right? At the Jets, I really think they're on a verge of a complete and utter explosion if they keep going the way they're going, right? Breece Hall, he's not going to stay around. Once he starts looking for a contract, he's gone. Sauce Gardner, every team on the plan would want him. Every team on the plan would want Garrett Wilson, right? Those are the 3 big dogs that need contracts on that Jets team. Right, defensive rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year in the same year. Right, those guys, there's no way they're staying with the Jets if there's no quarterback. Right, even with Aaron Rodgers, right, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback, they still suck. It's the Jets. They're always going to be the Jets, and I think that's what we're kind of realizing. Right, Edelman was on the Herd. He was talking about Brady kind of ruined the entire perception of getting these old Hall of Fame quarterbacks, put them on a young team, a new team, and having it work out. This has been one of the worst old quarterback bring them in situations we've ever seen. And I think it helps the Patriots in the future, right? If the Jets just completely implode, right, that almost guarantees us at least the 3rd spot in the AFC East. Right? I mean, the Dolphins look really bad. I don't know how much longer Mike McDaniel's going to be around. Right? I don't really see that lasting, especially with Tua. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude almost dies every time he steps on the field. And then, Jalen Waddle, I mean, he just signed a new contract, which go for him, but he's probably going to fucking regret it in a few years. But, yeah, and then with Drake May, right, I should probably talk more about Drake May because he is awesome. He's so fucking good. And I wish we got to see him more last week because those 2 drives, he looked so fucking good. I mean, the decision making he does, the leadership that he has. I think the mentality, right? You see in the media, the way he answers questions, the way he uses his legs, the throws that he makes. Right, he had that throw to Taekwon on the sideline. He was kind of rushing out, throw it downfield, right in his chest. Fucking idiot, drop the ball. I'm so sick of Taekwon. He's the fucking worst. If we can get him for a 7th round in 2028, do it. I don't care. I'm not looking for the best deal possible with Taekwon because any deal is best deal for Taekwon. He's a fucking bum. Anyways, yeah, Drake May, he's so good, and I don't know if we're really gonna see him this coming game. I mean, I'll be okay if we don't because the Titans are fucking horrible. So we'll see. But yeah, I think Drake is developing really well every week. He's better, and I think that's going to help with the future, getting free agents and then the draft. Right, we should end with a pretty high draft pick. We can trade down. Right, we're not looking for a quarterback, so we can trade down. There's a lot of teams that we can finagle and that are looking for quarterbacks. So the door is wide open. I think the AFC East is, besides the Bills, it might be wide open the next few years, which is really exciting because it's been so bad the last 5 years. And I'm really excited. I think Drake May's brought a lot to this. Speaking of, we should get into next week against the Titans. I was looking, the last time I saw, the line was at 38. I don't know who out there is into sports gambling. I am. Line is 38. Spread is 3.5. Titans are the favorites, which is crazy. They should not be. Absolutely not. Right? Mason Rudolph, Will Levis, those are your fucking quarterbacks. You're telling me that they're favorites by 3.5? I take the Patriots. 3.5. You kidding me? 38. I feel like that's just the line makers kind of making you want to take the over. Maybe. I mean, we went over last week, right? The line was 41.5, went 22 and 25 was the score. Patriots seem to tend to be on the under. 38 is really fucking low. Titans are just really fucking bad. We just found out today that L'Jarius Sneed will be out, so that's going to help with the offense, right? Even though he's on like a pretty bad defense, I think he's still a really good corner, right? I mean, he's Super Bowl champ last year. He was the best corner, one of the best corners in the league on the Chiefs. I still think he is. Having him out is going to be huge. We get to possibly see Javon Baker this weekend. I'm really excited. I hope we do. I'm sick of him just being on special teams and just letting the ball bounce out of bounds every fucking time. And if not, he just takes a knee. I mean, I haven't seen him with the ball in his hands at all. I don't get it. Like I get like there's like the curfew thing or whatever, which we still really don't know the full detail. They just say that he's not there yet with the playbook or whatever. I don't know. Like, right, if Drake May's out there or Jacoby Brissett's out there, they know what these guys need to run. Just tell Baker what he needs to run. Who fucking like you're telling? He can't be worse than Taekwon. He can't be worse than how Jalen Polk's been playing. I think just put him out there. Jerron Mayo was in a press conference today, and he made it seem like that Baker's going to get a little bit more opportunities, put a few good weeks together in practice. So hopefully we see him. Jalen Polk looks like he cleared protocol, so he'll be back. So hopefully we get to see both of those guys a lot. Demario Douglas, we need him having the ball, right? The offense is just so much more electric when we're able to dish Demario Douglas, 5 or 6 targets in the game at minimum, right? Hunter Henry will be in. He's always good. Austin Hooper had a pretty good game. So I'm excited for all of our weapons to be in there. I think Taekwon might be. I think he was limited in practice, so hopefully we don't see him because I'm fucking sick and tired of him. And then I really hope we start using Booty more. I think he's been having a pretty good season so far. I think he's kind of a sleeper receiver. I think him and Drake just need a little bit more connection going, right? Some of the passes, some of the drops he was having last weekend we're kind of at character because the first few games he didn't seem to drop anything. But I think it's just kind of a connection thing, right? It's still really early on. All of our receivers that game really had a bad catching week. So maybe it was just the ball or the field or something that kind of screwed him up. Hopefully not the field because I was at home. But maybe there's something going on with the balls. I don't know. So hopefully we have a pretty good bounce back this week. Defense, I think, right? Calvin Ridley, that's the guy that we need to target. He finally had a good game, which is shocking because we almost gave him $28 million a year. Thank Christ we didn't. He's been non-existent on the football field besides last week. 10 catches, 125 yards and a touchdown, something like that. Right? That's the guy we got to cover now. Right? There's really no one else like receiving tight end wise that I'm really too worried about. Which put Gonzo on him, he'll be fine. I have no worries with Christian Gonzalez being out there. I think he's going to clamp him. He's been clamping everyone else. There's no fucking reason that he's not going to clamp him. I think, right, Tony Pollard, our run defense has not been that good. Even though Breece Hall didn't get a lot of touches, he averaged like 4.7 yards a carry, something like that. So Tony Pollard, he's been pretty good. His last game, he had a pretty solid outing. They're not really giving him the ball a ton, it looks like, but he seems to be averaging pretty good yardage per carry. So I think that might be the way they're thinking of kind of attacking us is through the run game, especially where they don't have Will Levis in, right? They have Mason Rudolph. So I can see them kind of going more towards the run, which makes me think more with right that line at 38. It's really making me want to take the under, but I don't know. We'll see if it keeps dropping. Then maybe we have to switch kind of to the over, right? But I mean, I think it's more of a safe bet to take the under. To be honest, I might be kind of contradicting myself here, but if they go heavy on the run game, right? The Patriots, I think if Drake May's in, then it's gonna be pass heavy. If Drake May's not in, I think we can run with Mondre. I don't think the Titans have anything too crazy against the run, so. Yeah, it kind of depends if Drake's going to play. I think he's going to, if he clears tomorrow, he's going to play. So that's kind of where I'm thinking with that. Kind of looking ahead after, I think this is a pretty big game because after this, we have the Bears, we have the Rams, Miami, the Colts. I think the Bears are a really good team. They're a really good defense. I don't really see us getting through them. Rams offense, if Puka's going to be healthy, I think that's going to be a really hard matchup for us. I don't know if he is, right? He kind of was limited this week with his knee again. So it seems like the knee is kind of a never-ending story with him. And then Miami, Tua's back. We've never beaten Tua. So even though they suck, it's Tua, right? For some reason, he's kind of our Grim Reaper. Colts, I think that's a pretty, right? If Joe Flacco's in there, that's going to be a tough one. So I think this is kind of our easiest win all the way through until the bye, right? We have the Cardinals. Cardinals, it depends on what week we have them, right? Sometimes they'll drop 35, sometimes they'll drop 17. So hopefully we get them kind of on a really shitty week. But yeah, I think this is a big game just because, right? Especially with the Jets one, right? We got to get a win if we want to at least beat the Jets because that's all I care about. We got to win. We got to keep winning. Yeah, and I think we can do it with Jacoby Brissett. I'm not too worried. I would like to have Drake May. Everyone would like to have Drake May. I think he'd be a lot of fun. But I think Jacoby would be enough, right? The Titans have been pretty bad all throughout. I don't have a ton of concern over that, especially where we have Mondre. I think we can rely on Mondre pretty heavy. He's hasn't fumbled in a few weeks, right? Ever since he had that benching, right, where he didn't start for a drive, right? I mean, that was it. Besides after that, he's been pretty good. I think we can rely on him again. We can rely on Hunter Henry, even though it seems like we should be a pretty easy offense to kind of scheme against. But every single game, Hunter Henry's wide open. No one's really covering him. So I would kind of look into Hunter Henry. I don't even know what his props are this week, but I think I would like them. Let's see. So receiving. So Hunter Henry receiving yards. Plus 50 yards is plus 165. That's not bad. I kind of like that. I think the line's kind of at the 40 yards, right? Minus 105. That's that's a pretty good line. I like that. Demario Douglas, he starts off at 25, right? Minus 210. 40 plus 130. I kind of like that. Demario Douglas, every time he has the ball in his hands, he seems to get a lot of yards that they catch. Right, Drake May really likes him in the middle of the field. That's kind of where Demario Douglas seems to excel. Right, that touchdown pass to him, that was right in the middle of the field. I think Demario is sneaky good in the middle of the field, and usually those are 15 plus yards. So I see him getting a few targets, 40 plus. That's not bad. Plus 130. Booty. I don't know if we'll really see a lot with right. Drake May's been talking. We're kind of backtrack. Drake May's been talking a lot about Jalen Polk and trying to get him into the offense, where he's going to be back. If Drake May's back, right, I can see him kind of getting to him early, just try to get off these cobwebs of not being able to catch the ball. I don't know what's going on. In college and preseason, he had the most sure hands out of everyone on either team that he was on. Right, that's why we drafted him. He had super strong hands, and he can't catch the fucking ball. I don't know what's going on. And with Jerome Mayo being like, oh, it's a mental thing, and then Jalen Polk coming out and be like, no, it's not a mental thing, but then Jalen Polk said that he had the best hands of the league. So like, who the hell are we supposed to trust? I mean, it's just I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know why he's not catching the fucking ball. And and Drake's making it seem like he just needs to get the ball earlier. He needs to get his confidence up throughout the game. I trust Drake May, right? He's our guy. Him and Jalen Polk came up together, right, through the rookie draft and rookie mini camp and all that. So I can see him going to him early, trying to get things moving for him. I'm excited. I really hope Jalen Polk can figure this out because I think he'll really help open up this offense. I so believe in him, even though he really hasn't shown much. But I'm just kind of going off the preseason. I like his mentality. I think, rookie training camp, he showed a lot of promise. He had a great attitude. Seemed to kind of be a leader in the receiving room already. So look for him getting targets early. And I mentioned Gerard Mayo, kind of talking about him. This was kind of a get right game for Gerard Mayo, right? He talked about how the team was soft. They weren't soft. I mean, the per yards letting the run go, I mean, it wasn't the best, but he didn't get a lot of yards. We were able to kind of shut down the option of being able to run. I mean, that could also just be the Jets coaching staff being the worst in the fucking NFL and not realizing that they can run against us. But I think against the run, we did halfway decent, right? We didn't let up a touchdown. I don't think we let up 100 yards to anyone. I don't know what the total was, but Brees Hall had a pretty quiet game, especially in the receiving end. I don't think he had a catch. I could be wrong, but I think that was good. Special teams did really well, right? I talked about Marcus Jones earlier. I think we responded to Gerard. I think we played hard, right? We made tackles. There wasn't a ton of missed tackles. I think right the Boston media was really trying to make Gerard Mayo seem like he had no control over this team and that he was why the fuck why is he saying all this crazy shit, saying that the team's soft, like he should be hyping up the team. You should have talked to the team first. But then every player came out and he's like, yeah, he talked to us first. And they're taking it the right way, right? Gerard was doing it to light a fire on their ass, and it did. So I think it restored a lot of faith into Gerard Mayo for me and hopefully for the fan base and for the media. I think we saw firsthand his coaching ability, which was really exciting. Hopefully it keeps going, right? We face the Titans, right? We got to do the same thing, right? Run defense has got to be solid. We got to make tackles. We got to be really good with that. Special teams has to step up again. Just hard smash mouth football, right? That's what Alex Van Pelt wanted our offense to be, right? Run first. We want to be run first. want to punch you in the face first. We're going to shove you away from the line of scrimmage. We're going to push through. That was the game plan. That's what Gerard Mayo's preaching now, and I think we have to continue it. We got to keep having Gerard Mayo's coaching words, right, and put into kind of weird terms. Keep working. It needs to keep working. I just want to see improvement. That's the goal for the rest of the season, right? And then obviously Drake May, right? Because I don't want to go into this offseason needing new coaching staff. I think it's early to kind of talk shit about Alex Van Pelt too much. I think some of his play calls are pretty sketchy, but now that Drake's in, offense has already looked so much better, right? Hopefully we can keep that going. I don't want to go into the offseason needing a new offensive coordinator, right? Look at Justin Herbert. I mean, it's been a fucking disaster. I mean, look at Mac Jones, right? When we had McDaniels in, it was awesome. And then he lost that, and then it was a complete disaster. We need continuity in the coaching staff. So I really hope that this week we still continue that we're not soft mentality that Gerard Mayo is preaching. I hope we can keep that going. Go Pats, fuck the Titans. We'll see how Miami does too. I don't know who they're facing, but that's going to be a pretty big matchup for us. See if we can hold our position in the AFC East. I'm really looking forward to it. We'll find out if Drake's playing tomorrow, most likely, right? If he passes protocol, and then we have to, right? I think they have to catch the plane, right? It's in Tennessee, right? Let's see. Yeah, it's in Tennessee, so they got to catch the plane. So before the plane ride, we definitely have to know if Drake May's playing. I hope he does, but I'd also be totally okay if he doesn't. So I think that kind of wraps it up. I don't see anything in the comments, so I think we're pretty good. Thank you guys for watching, right? I'm Pat's Attic Sage. You can find me on Twitter. I'll be tweeting all weekend long. Thanks for watching. Catch us next week. I'll have Dog Nation with me, hopefully next week, so you can catch us then. All right. Good talking to you guys. See ya.
We're on to Cincinnati. It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. Right now, we're preparing for Cincinnati.
Okay, do you feel like the talent you have here is good enough?
We're getting ready for Cincinnati.
What is your responsibility?
I'm just asking, do you think you've done enough to help Tom Brady?
We're getting ready for Cincinnati. Stupid thing.